Pozdrav ljudi i životinje, dobrodošli na kanal Hrvatska, ja sam Dino i mi igramo Horizon Forbidden West. Dobrodošli, udrite like, podržite kanal, subscribe ako niste i pridružite se chatu. Donirajte za PlayStation 5 i tako to. Mi nastavljamo main story danas od Horizonu. Znači sljedeći quest koji nas čeka je da nastavimo ovaj The Cool Route. Bolje sam to dobro izgovorio. Kako se meni čini, mi se tu moramo u planinu našu uputiti, ili? Kako stojim sa resursima, ne sjećam se, da neki materijali mi trebaju. Nadam se da budem nešto i nabavio. To je samo kamen. Nešto samo za pokupiti, onda to prođem, onda mi se kamen pojavi za pokupiti. Uporno žele da to kamenje skupljam. Evo je već sva u snijegu. Već je odijelo pobijelilo. Od zelenog postalo bijelo. Zašto ovdje meni inače nije moguće pašći s travom, a? Stigao sam kući. Treba adher to Gaja, ajmo. Jel stigao onaj uopće? Ovdje. Aj, Eren je
You're not
ovdje.
waving a hammer around, Aaron. Try a gentler touch.
And my big sausage fingers don't really do gentle, okay?
Bring it back. Trace the line. To your right.
I on je dobio
Other
fokus.
right.
I just saw it. It's the one Aloy found up north. Gotcha. They call it a concussion beat party or something. Yeah, now that's music.
Aloy! Aaron, you're all better. And you're here.
Varl said you might need some help after all, doing complicated things.
We still have much training to do, of course. One does not become hunter in a day.
Each seed grows at a pace of its own. Doesn't mean it won't bloom. You should know your Tanakh friend arrived. Katalo.
I heard their warriors drink people's blood. I want to sleep with one eye open.
I think he's seen enough blood for a lifetime.
I showed him to one of the rooms. He seems to appreciate the privacy.
Looks like you've got things under control. I should get this to Gaia.
Right. We'll keep on training. Catch up as fast as we can.
I'm seeing glyphs in my dreams already.
Well, while you've been off gallivanting around, I've been working with Gaia to find out more about the land gods. So from where I'm standing, you're in need of some training. Come along.
Okay. Oh, and I delivered your message to Talana. She headed for that Oseram camp you two were looking for, to the southwest.
So this Hephaestus, she's like
Takash.
Wow, this place is starting to come alive.
Yeah, and Gaia placed all the data she got from your focus into that archive room. With the focuses you gave us, we'll be able to access it at our own pace. You know, learn and train. And if you need us, we'll be there to fight at your side.
Got it. Thanks, Varl. How's training with Cell?
You know we really are training. Mostly. Look, she reads glyphs faster than I can already. I'd be a fool to refuse her help.
Of course. Looks like I was wrong about the Zeniths. Their ship didn't explode on its way to Sirius like everyone thought.
And we saw how they lied about creating a better future at their launch facility. Guess they lied about what happened to their ship, too. But still, the tribe settling amongst the stars.
I couldn't put a single dent in their shields, Varl. That one Zenith almost killed me.
That didn't stop you from resurrecting Gaia. Won't stop us from using Hephaestus against them.
Let's hope that's enough. I'm guessing you've spoken with Katalo?
I wanted to pay my respects for those who fell when we were ambushed at the embassy. Told him I'd never seen anyone throw themselves at a machine like he did. He said a warrior shouldn't be praised for fulfilling their duty. For a second I thought I was talking to my mother. Never thought a Tenakth and a Nora war chief could have so much in common.
Think you can hold the fort while I'm gone?
If Aaron stops listening to the same music over and over again, maybe. We'll be fine.
Ništa on nema za reći.
Varl looks happy about his training partner.
Learning is best done together.
Have you gone back to Plainsong at all?
I thought about it, but I wouldn't know what to tell them. The chorus already thinks me a thorn in the thicket. If they knew what we did to Fa, even if they understood, there'd be little they could grasp about all this. No. For now, I must leave the tribe behind.
What are you up to?
Gaia was kind enough to put together a list of glyphs used by the old ones. She helped me decipher some of the data you've collected and showed me how to use the focus to help the process. It's not easy, but it's been working so far.
That's good to hear. Did Gaia tell you anything about the Zeniths?
She did, though it wasn't exactly easy to believe. To think that there are places among the stars where life can bloom as it does here, it is humbling, to say the least, and heartbreaking that such life should be bent on destroying ours.
Sounds like you met my friend Talana.
Yes, the Karja Huntress. I haven't seen armor like hers since the Red Raids, but Varl tells me that she too suffered at the hands of the Mad Sun King.
Yeah, she's one of the good ones. Trust me. So, how does a tribe like the Utaru manage to maintain the peace with warriors like the Tenakth?
By holding them off. When our fields bloomed aplenty, the Tenakth looked upon our lands with envy. But Plainsong's dishes provided sanctuary and high ground to keep invaders at bay. In the end, even the Tenakth saw sense in a truce. The Utaru promised to provide the Tenakth with food from our crops every year. In exchange, the Tenakth would relinquish one of their own, a veteran, to train the Utaru in combat. This custom was abandoned a few years after the derangement. But some veterans still remain in the plains.
I believe I've met them already. I've been meaning to ask, what's the deal with you and the chorus? You didn't seem to be on the best of terms.
That's what happens when you're the one Utaru who insists on publicly defying them. Twice. When the Karja invaded the Utaru plains, they did more than just attack our villages. They burned our fields, took our people as slaves, and murdered those who were too weak to make the trip back to Meridian.
To be sacrificed in the Sun Ring.
I was helping the healers back then, as waves of refugees swarmed into Plainsong. The chorus was divided in how to face the invaders. Some saw sense in raising arms. Others believed the dishes would keep us safe, as they had many times before. And while they bickered, I buried the seeds of the fallen.
It couldn't have been easy. Seeing your people suffer while the Karja invaded your lands.
I come from a small village near Plainsong. My grandmother used to say there was no seed that wouldn't grow there. I moved to the dishes when I decided to apprentice as a healer. When the Red Raids began, I thought about going back. But the injured kept pouring into Plainsong, day after day. So I kept putting it off. One day, I woke up to hear a Karja raiding party had ransacked my village during the night. I rushed there with the healers to help the survivors, but there weren't any left. The smell of burning flesh haunts me to this day.
I'm sorry, Zoe.
I made it a point to appear before the chorus as soon as we returned, to demand that we take a stand against the invaders. I was denied. So I left to fight on my own.
You said you set out to fight the Karja alone?
I did. But it turned out I wasn't the only one. News of my disagreement with the chorus spread through the plains. Before I knew it, I had more than a dozen Utaru warriors ready to follow me into battle. We knew we couldn't take on the Karja armies head-on, but we also knew the lay of the land better than they did. We ambushed smaller raiding parties, sabotaged their supply lines, and hit their encampments at night.
Sounds like you were a force to be reckoned with.
Enough that the Tenakth took notice. When the clans began to push the Karja back east, they let us join their ranks. We chased the enemy all the way to Barren Light.
You said you were at Barren Light when the Tenakth defeated the Karja?
Tenakth marshals climbed the cliffs of the Daunt under cover of night, then attacked from the other side. Before we knew it, the gates were open, and the full force of the clans burst through. What happened next was not something I like to remember. When all the dust and blood settled, I smelled it again. The stench of burnt flesh. Our enemies defeated. What was left of my squad returned to the Utaru Plains. I went back to Plainsong. But even as the harvests passed, it didn't feel like I'd truly returned at all.
Is that when you became a grave singer?
I thought soothing the suffering of others would somehow appease my own. Then you came along and gave me a choice. I could either sing at people's graves or fight for a chance to keep them alive.
I'm glad you chose the latter. You called yourself a grave singer. What does that mean?
To all living things an end must come. It is my task to ease the passage. I try to bring comfort and sing of the renewal that death sows the way for.
I was hoping you could tell me more about the land gods.
For generations they provided for us. Seeding and harvesting the fields of Plainsong. Food for all. A miracle of endless bounty. A blessed land, providing sustenance for my people. Until the derangement. They had always enriched the soil, but for several seasons they have glutted it endlessly with mulch. At least now I know why. The repair bay below was meant to renew them. Without it, they became sick. That is why I must find a way to heal them before my people starve.
Okej. Šta ovdje ima još nešto ili? Nema.
Right, I should probably go.
I shall return to our training then.
Da posjetim ostalo. Šta Eren radi ovdje? I on se igra tu s ovim.
Hey,
Hey.
A nice place.
Well, it's not like I built it or anything.
Right. Well, I can see why you had your doubts about bringing us along. It is a lot to take in. But, don't worry. That's nothing I can't handle.
Right.
Kako je
I
tebi
see
trening?
Varl gave you a focus.
Well, it doesn't look as fashionable on me, but by the forge, the things I've been able to see. Granted, a lot of them are bad, you know, the old world ending and such. I'm still trying to wrap my head around most of it, but I never really understood how you were ever able to find my sister back in the Sundom. And now I do, sort of. It makes me feel like I could be useful, you know?
It takes some time, but yeah. I guess you know what we're up against by now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When Varl first told me those bastards come from the stars, I thought he'd eaten too many of those medicinal berries. Yeah, but I've gotten used to seeing impossible things, thanks to you. I just wish they weren't always trying to kill us.
Yeah, you and me both. How are you settling in?
Yeah, Varl's been helping me get the lay of the land, when he's not getting all tongue-tied. I don't know who makes him more nervous, that Gaia lady or our new Utaru friend.
Well, what about the Vanguard? Aren't you supposed to be back east, ordering them around?
I sent some of them back to Meridian with a message. I doubt Avad will mind me sticking around to help the savior of Meridian.
Okay.
I should get going.
I just keep practicing with this thing.
Vježbaj, vježbaj. Gdje nam je ovaj? On je u sobi negdje, čekaj, gdje mu je soba?
Aloy, we've gathered some supplies in that chest. Take what you need.
Sad ću uzeti. Samo mi skupiti suplaje. Gdje se ovaj sakrio?
So many wonderful inventions to help others, to help the planet. Technology really can be an amazing.
Huh. Looks like someone's rearranged stuff in here.
Aloy, I see you found your room.
Moja soba.
Your companions thought you would appreciate a private space of your own.
That was thoughtful of them.
Ha, dali su mi sobu.
I've been carrying Elizabeth's pendant with me for months. But since we're gonna stay a while, I think I'll keep it here, where it'll be safe. Elizabeth put all of her faith in Gaia. And Gaia put all of her faith in me. If I can do it all, recover the sub-functions, defeat Thor Zenith, heal the world, I'd like to think Elizabeth would be proud. My old spear. Rust helped me make it. And I finished my training. Feels like so long ago now.
Ovo će biti kao neka soba za
When Varl
kolekciju.
found me after the Hades proving lab, I thought I saw Rost. I don't think he'd understand any of this. Or what I have to do. But still. Wish he was here. This is the rite of passage that Vashav gave me at the embassy. I liked him. He seemed like a good man. I think he was really looking forward to going home. Argala's attack at the embassy. The marshals ambushed and surrounded, killed one by one. Reminds me of the massacre at the Proving. Back in the Sacred Lands.
Da, ko u jedinici.
So many lives wasted. And for what?
Da vidimo šta imamo ovdje. Jel su mi bench napravili? Bench mi nisu napravili ovdje. Šteta. Dobro, dobro. Postoji još vremena za napredovat, zar ne? Još mogu on meni srediti ovu moju sobu. Šta je ovo? Je ovo izlaz van ili... Nope, ne idemo to. Tražim ti ovaj tenak. On je došao isto ovdje, ovaj maršal. Tu nije.
Looks like this room's changed.
Evo ga.
Is that your doing, Gaia?
Yes. I have repurposed the displays to track the cauldrons you have acquired data from.
Bench. Da, mogu šta? Uj, mogu. Daj mi ovo. To je to. Sad još jače oružje. I new slot je otključan izgleda. Ovdje bi volio isto. Ovdje će mi dati opet fire. I ovaj običan damage jači. I tu new slot otključan, super. I otključili smo ove strele. Ovo je odlično za skidanje armora. Dobro, ovo je i dalje bolje, 334. Ali malo damage, ovo je i damage nekakav. Jako dobro.
So the 10 carried their visions with them.
Napunit ću se, iću do staša još jednom. Ovo sam nije loše. I ovdje bi mogu vidjeti ako mogu otključiti šta. Tri mi treba ovo. Nažalost, nemam dovoljno. Daj što imaš ti za reći.
It's good to see you. I'm guessing you've got a lot of questions.
I've been told of our enemy and their intentions. Your friends showed me to the
On nije dobio fokus.
vision you keep in this place. Gaia, and gave me this focus.
A, dobio
I don't
fokus.
pretend to fully understand everything, but all I really need to know is where to train and when to fight.
Welcome to the team, then. What are you looking at over there?
The others have been helping me decipher the symbols the focus shows me. So, I thought I'd try to understand the weapon you intend to use against the enemy. This Hephaestus, it will be able to make machines? That answer to Gaia?
Yes,
How many?
as many as we need.
Such power. Has the world ever seen the like?
Now that you know who the enemy is, do you have any questions?
I'll admit, I find them hard to grasp. From the heavens. And invulnerable.
For now.
I will leave the strategy to you. I trust you will point my blade where it will cut the deepest.
You said the Bulwark was your home a long time ago. That you were part of the Sky Clan.
Yes.
That's all you're gonna tell me?
Fine. As you wish. My parents were killed in a clan skirmish, so I was raised by my squad. As I grew older, I came to be known as an accomplished fighter. Tekote took a special interest in me. I fought by his side against the Karja, and led my squad on a dangerous climb into the Daunt. It was I who opened the gates at Barren Light from the east side, allowing the Tenakth to raise it.
That must have gotten you some attention.
Indeed. I was welcomed home as a hero, and I was content.
Then why'd you leave?
I became a marshal.
Why did you leave the Sky Clan to become a marshal?
I was sent to the Kulrut by Tekote. Back then, I would have obeyed his every order. I believed in him, like one would a father. I was too blind to see the fear in his eyes. Fear of a rising young warrior challenging his command of the clan. I returned a hero from the battle at Barren Light. But to him, I was only a threat. Never occurred to him that I had no interest in rising above my station.
Why did Tekote think you wouldn't be a threat to him if he sent you to the Kulrut?
Tekote knew that if I survived the Kulrut, I'd be forced to forsake the clan to serve the Tenakth as a whole. I'd never be allowed to challenge his command, even if I wanted to. After our victory at Barren Light, Tekote spoke to our people, said it would be selfish to rob Hikaru and the marshals of a warrior like myself. Even though he knew perfectly well, I had no intention of ever leaving. It was exile, guised as an honor. One he knew I couldn't refuse. So I became a marshal, and never looked back.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
I am not. Though it pained me at the time, a marshal is what I was destined to be.
When we were at the Bulwark, the guard said something about the Wings of the Ten. Hikaru also mentioned it at the Kulrut. Deka, too. What does it mean?
The visions tell us that the Ten flew on great metal machines with wings, and leapt into battle from the sky. For us, to imitate this feat is the ultimate expression of martial prowess, and it is why the challengers leap into the arena during the Kulrut. Many times I imagined it as a child. The feeling of freedom, and the awe it must have inspired.
What did Chief Hikaru say when you told him he'd be joining me here?
You spilt rebel blood at the Grove, and helped reunite the clans. There was little more to be said. He understood.
Well, I'm honored he lent me his best marshal. At least for a little while.
Indeed.
You've had some time with the team now. Any thoughts?
I admit I was surprised to see Nutaru here. Farmers don't make for effective soldiers.
I'm told she rallied some in her tribe against the Karja, and fought all the way to Barren Light.
Interesting. Perhaps I'm mistaken.
Pozdrav, batice. A vidiš, on nije znao to.
I should go. Feel free to check in on Hikaru and your people. Door's always open here.
I will. May the Ten walk with you.
Ja mislim da imam s njima još neke stvari za pričat, ali u vezi stvari koje sam ih pitao, ali nema veze, pustit ćemo sad to. Dovoljno smo razgovarali, idemo do Gaje. Ne damo ovo što smo našli.
Welcome back, Aloy. When you're ready, please merge ether with me. Afterwards, I must discuss an important matter with you.
So, what did you want to discuss?
While you were away, I received an unusual transmission on my dedicated Eleuthia frequency.
Eleuthia. That's one of the sub-functions you couldn't detect before.
Yes. The transmission occurred so slowly that at first it seemed like an accidental blip of data amongst background static. Once I noticed this irregularity, it took some time to collate the complete message.
Coordinates. Where does it lead?
To a mountain to the northwest of this facility. A word of caution, Aloy. It is possible this transmission is genuine. It is also possible it is being broadcast by someone or something else.
You don't think it's actually Eleuthia?
I am uncertain.
What's SOS?
It is an old world code. A distress signal. A desperate plea for help.
Why would Eleuthia send a coded transmission on a frequency only the two of you can communicate on?
I believe it was done as a precaution to avoid detection, or at least to create the appearance of the desire to do so. I am also uncertain why Eleuthia would expect that I would be able to detect and respond to its distress signal at all. As far as it is aware, I no longer function.
Okay, so either Eleuthia is in trouble and sent the message hoping you were out there, or someone else is trying to get us to go to these coordinates, pretending to be Eleuthia.
That is my conclusion as well.
Could the Zeniths be sending the transmission?
According to the data I reviewed on your focus, the Zeniths recovered the other Gaia root kernel in the Hades Proving Lab. It is feasible they used it to gain access to my internal frequencies.
So, maybe they sent it thinking you'd respond and reveal your location.
Possibly. However, the transmission is highly irregular. If they intended to provoke me into revealing myself, I would expect the communication to be more routine.
Right. So maybe it's not them then. You said the coordinates lead to a mountain to the northwest. What's there?
I have no record of anything of note in that vicinity.
Okay, and what about the other number in the message? 237. Any idea what that means?
I have queried my available databases, but it does not appear to have any significance. Perhaps its meaning can only be understood at the indicated coordinates.
All right, I'll go to the coordinates and check out the source of the transmission.
All by yourself? Ha! No way.
I included Erend and Varl in this briefing via their focuses. I concur that you should not investigate this alone.
What if it's a trap?
Of course it could be a trap. But if it really is Eleuthia, then it's in trouble, and I need to bring it back. Don't worry. I'll be careful and...
We're coming with you.
Fine. Go grab your things.
We'll wait for you at the west exit, in case you need to upgrade your gear.
Čekaj, možda imamo šta još pričati s Gajom.
Aloy.
That was sneaky of you, patching in Varl and Erend to our conversation.
I am pleased you accepted their help. Is there something you wish to discuss before you depart?
What can you tell me about Demeter?
Demeter sows, fertilizes, and tends to plant life.
So once I bring it back, all the blight out there will start to get better.
While permanent restoration requires the abilities of Hephaestus, I may be able to improve conditions in the region for a while. However, a word of warning. Like Ether and Poseidon, Demeter's response to my query was highly irregular. Alone and frightened, it may have taken measures to assure its security.
Okay, I'll keep my guard up. The missing subordinate functions. What can you tell me about them?
Artemis rewilded the Earth with a variety of animal species. Eleuthia was responsible for gestating, nurturing, and acculturating a new generation of human beings. Apollo was tasked with preserving, organizing, and disseminating vast archives of human knowledge and cultural achievements. Unfortunately, all archived Apollo data was purged on the 2nd of February, 2066, by order of Ted Faro.
Pharaoh, huh? I really hate that guy.
Understandable. He appears to have been pathologically narcissistic, impulsive, and unstable.
All 3 of the missing functions have already served their purpose, or were prevented from doing so. Do you still need them?
If attainable, yes. Restoring their remaining elements would increase my heuristic processing density. Perhaps you will be able to procure Eleuthia at the SOS coordinates. Artemis and Apollo, however, remain unaccounted for.
So, Poseidon, what do we know about it?
Poseidon controls the organic and chemical composition of water resources. Once it is restored to me, I may be able to improve conditions in the regional watershed. But I must warn you, like the others, Poseidon is lost and frightened. It may have taken measures to protect itself.
I'll be careful. Now that you have ether, were you able to put a stop to the storms?
For the time being. All available meteorological data indicates that supercell activity has seen a dramatic decline.
That'll be a relief for the Tenakth. One of their villages is still recovering after a mudslide caused the whole place to flood.
I will continue to stabilize the atmosphere for as long as I can.
Given Hephaestus's importance, is there really no way to capture and merge it first?
I'm afraid that is quite impossible. In my present state, launched and merged with Minerva, I am operating at less than 1/5, 18.8%, of my intended processing capacity. Hephaestus dwarfs this figure. Were an attempt made to conduct the merge under these circumstances, Hephaestus would absorb me, rather than the other way around. A merge cannot be attempted until my heuristic processing density exceeds its own.
And how many subordinate functions is that going to take?
Merging Ether, Demeter, and Poseidon will expand my heuristic network to 41.6% capacity, exceeding that of Hephaestus.
You said Hephaestus isn't located in just one place.
Correct. Unlike the other subordinate functions, which are confined to discrete physical processors, Hephaestus is distributed throughout the global network that connects the planet's cauldrons.
So, when the time comes to subdue it, how do we make that happen?
I do not know. While you are retrieving the procurable subordinate functions, I will attempt to find a solution.
So, once Hephaestus has been recovered and merged, you'll regain the capacity to mass-produce machines at cauldrons around the world.
Yes, and to program their behavioral routines, or even control them directly.
So could you build an army of machines? Attack the descendants of Far Zenith and take them out?
It is in my nature to take any and all necessary steps to preserve life on Earth, human life above all. So yes, Once I have been empowered with the capacities of a Festus, I could design, build, and command such an army. Given the nature of the far zenith threat, doing so may be our only option. I must admit, however, that I have misgivings about using such technology to kill, no matter how aggressive the enemy.
That's good. It means you have a conscience. As Elizabeth intended.
Indeed.
Ok. Je, zanimljivo je jako, batice.
I detect that the loss of his arm still deeply pains him, though he has not voiced his thoughts. I may be able to assist in his recovery, should he be interested.
Really? I'm sure he will be. How are things around here?
Zoe has been studying the morphology of her land gods, in an effort to understand their sickness. Without the abilities of Hephaestus, I am unfortunately unable to correct their programming. However, Zoe and I are hopeful we will find an alternative way to heal them.
Well, keep at it. Varl and Zoe seem to like spending time together.
Indeed. While studying old world data, Zoe discovered references to a dietary lifestyle known as vegetarianism. She appreciated the similarities with Utaru practices and encouraged Varl to try out this lifestyle.
And how did that go?
I believe they have agreed to disagree.
How's Erend handling things?
He is becoming increasingly accustomed to use of the focus, after an initial incident.
What did he do?
He unfortunately crushed his first focus as he attempted to affix it to his temple. Amongst a number of Oseram curses, I believe he also blamed the focus for being dainty. He has given repeated assurances that it will not happen again.
Well, good thing we have a lot of extras, I guess. What is the state of the biosphere? Is the terraforming system functioning at all?
In a sense, the terraforming system never stopped functioning. The difference, since my predecessor's destruction, is that there has been no central governing intelligence to monitor its robotic agents and assign new tasks. As a result, errors have accrued, and day by day, the biosphere has gradually veered ever more sharply towards destruction. In recent months, disturbances in the biosphere have become obvious. But these bellwether phenomena offer just the merest glimpse of the complex and accelerating cycles of environmental dysfunction, now driving Earth's biosphere towards collapse.
And you can't do anything to stop it?
If you can return Ether, Poseidon, and Demeter to me, I can improvise modest corrections to parts of the system. Weather will improve, water will be purified, and rampant plant growth curtailed. But such corrections will not stave off collapse. They will only buy us time. Only with Hephaestus can I design and produce new robotic agents designed to permanently reverse the damage that has accumulated. All efforts must be directed toward that end.
How long do we have then?
At present rates, without additional factors, the biosphere will cross a point of no return in approximately 4 months.
Ok, 4 mjeseca.
And if
Basta,
I
sad ću
gather
završiti
Ether,
igricu.
Demeter,
Uspjet ću.
Poseidon, merge you with them?
We will only gain a few months more.
Well, every bit counts. Gaia? What was Elizabeth like?
Her presence is interwoven with my memories. The moment I came online, she was there. We exchanged greetings, names, then set to our task. It was the first of many conversations. I enjoyed being in her company, listening to her stories. She was my creator, my guide.
Your friend.
Yes. When I reviewed the data on your focus, I was saddened to learn of her fate, though I am glad she made it home. I deeply wish she did not have to be alone.
She was okay with that. She gave all of herself. The only one who could. Thanks, Gaia. So, Project Zero Dawn. The greatest minds in the world. All working to build the terraforming system while the Pharaoh Plague devoured the planet. What was it like?
Personnel worked in rotations, at all hours of the day. Resources and technology were secured from across the world. Within a month of the project's conception, I was launched and began my education. Elizabeth encouraged me to spend time with the rest of the Zero Dawn staff. She said it was important to experience many personalities and perspectives to aid in my emotional development.
What were they like?
Scared, hopeful, determined. They were hurtling toward technological achievements on a scale never before attempted. I owe everything to their dedication.
So this facility, the Regional Control Center, it was meant to oversee the terraforming system?
For the local region, yes. Had humans received their education from the Apollo database, they would have then been guided here to assume operation. As that never happened, this place remained vacant.
Until Minerva decided to settle here. So the Hades Proving Lab, where I found the Gaia kernel. It used to be a Pharaoh research facility?
Yes. Prior to appropriation by Zero Dawn, the facility was used to engineer and test advanced computer viruses. It appears to have been one of many research initiatives by Pharaoh Automated Solutions.
I guess it wasn't enough to build automated killing machines. He wanted viruses to infect them with too. So, a while back, before the battle at Meridian, I went into Banuk territory. I discovered another AI there. One not related to Zero Dawn. Cyan.
DLC.
It was created to oversee operations for a volcanic stabilization project. And it spent the last 1,000 years in isolation. I'm guessing you didn't know about it?
No. From the data on your focus, it seems that Cyan was cut off from the outside world. An effort by its creators to protect it from the Pharaoh Plague.
Any chance it could help us now?
I have already attempted contact, with no success. Given its previous experience with accepting an outside network request, I imagine it is unwilling to do so again.
Right. Because last time Hephaestus enslaved it. Well, that's too bad. I think the two of you would have had a lot to talk about. There was an ancient tank embedded in the bulwark, buried under a bunch of boulders. Any idea how it got there?
During the Pharaoh Plague, the US military resumed the use of human combatants, as automated machinery was unreliable. It is possible the vehicle was part of a pre-automated war fleet.
So they fought against the Pharaoh machines in the valley, until the mountain was blasted apart and buried them.
Sviđa mi se šta i DLC uključuju u priču. Da nisu izbacili taj dio. Šta je ovo?
Gaia, What is this?
It is a control console for a drone-based imaging system connected to this dome. I will transmit the relevant data to your focus.
Hvala.
So this Cyclops is a network of drones to monitor the deteriorating biosphere conditions. I guess it was meant to display on the dome, but the drones aren't connected anymore. If I find the drones out in the wilds,
Našao sam
I
ih.
could get the data from them, use it to reconnect them and
To Gaja, bravo. Našao sam dronova, nisam znao kako ih koristiti.
Hey Gaia, it's me.
Hello, Aloy.
Imaš još reći za
Would you
te
wish to
dronove?
continue our discussion?
O dronovima. Displays. Ima još nešto ovdje za reći.
So I guess this room was meant to keep an eye on conditions outside?
Yes. From here, the facility's operators would have been able to observe weather and machine activity
Pa to znam.
in real time.
That would have been quite a sight.
It may still be possible to view some of them should you find and reconnect the cameras to this room's console.
Da, to
I'll
sam
keep a
skužio.
lookout.
Dobro, znači trebaju mi dronovi. Ne.
I should be going.
Goodbye, Aloy.
Ne znam kako, ali vjerujem da sada imam nešto... Šta?
Error. Drone feed disconnected.
Dobro, nemam nigdje dron. Kad se spojim s dronom mogu doći ovdje i gledati u regiju. Fora, okej. To će biti vrlo korisno. Vidio sam dronove po mapama, brzi su jako. Ne znam šta izvode, ne znam i oni sami, ja mislim.
Good to know. I'll check it out when I can.
That was another one of those subordinate
Po mapi ih ima. Znači... ne mogu se gledati mapu, unutra sam. Ali ima ih, vani su, lete. Ne znam šta radi s nama, lete su bez veze. Ali su brzi kao vragovi. Šta sam htio vidjeti sad? Ovo mi je sve on hold. Znači moram ovo završiti. Idemo. Čekaj, ona je rekla zapravo još da je otključala neku sobu koju prije nisam mogao ići. Ne, to je moja soba, jel?
Looks like someone's made this space their own.
I see you found Varl and Zoe's room, Aloy.
Aha, to je njihova soba.
I believe they wanted private accommodations.
I see.
Dobro, nećemo ulaziti u sobu.
Holograms. Gaia, I thought you said the data here was lost.
I was able to repurpose the equipment to store the data you have acquired in your travels.
Okej, fora. Gdje je soba? Si popravila tu škabinu, nisi?
Looks like Gaia was able to unlock that door.
Koja vrata? Ovo vrata.
Looks like Arendt and Katalo moved their stuff in.
Je to to? Ovdje je to ta soba. Ne vidim ništa drugo. A imate još vrata.
Why doesn't this door have power?
At my current operating level, I am only able to restore functionality to part of this facility. In time,
Okej, kužim.
that may change.
Got it.
Okej, kužim.
Gaia, what was this room for?
This was intended to be a recreational room for control center operatives. Unfortunately, the entertainment modules were lost with the Apollo database.
That's too bad.
Šteta. Ove soba, znači ovu sobu ćemo još moći otključati s vremenom i vjerojatno i ovu.
Gotta go after Eleuthia. Erend and Varl are waiting for me at the west exit.
Popravit će oni ovu cijelu tvornicu.
There she is.
You ready to head out?
Idemo.
Let's go.
Look at us. 3 battle-hardened badasses forging into the unknown.
Jako mi se sviđa šta nismo stalno sami. Na misije idemo u grupama. Isto je jedan vrlo lijepi dodatak dvojici.
This distress call had to be up a really steep mountain, huh?
To postoji šansa da je to i Silence. Biće neka mašina luda. A da, ovi su. Ko je ova ženska?
Well, that takes the keg.
Ovi su našli oređe kako im razbi štit.
Varl, see if there's anything over there.
On it.
We'll check out the battlefield. Let's start with that zenith. Well, there are obviously more zeniths than we know about.
Can't believe you fought one of them.
Almost didn't make it. Whatever the rebels did, it took down her shield. But why was she here? I can access her last communication file, but I'll use my focus to scan the battlefield too.
What about that crazy weapon the Zenith had?
It looked like she can make it come and go at will.
Gdje je oružje?
But it's gone now.
Čekaj, šta je?
Yeah. Well, go do your thing. I'll wait here.
The Spectre had instructions to assist recovery of the asset. I wonder what this asset is. I'm catching snowflakes on my lashes.
Oružje je nestalo, šteta. Sam mislio da ćemo pokupiti oružje. Šta imamo ovdje?
Forge's breath. What a mess.
Šta si našao tamo? Jesi našao šta tamo?
Have a look around. I'll wait here.
Aha, to je za unutra ići. A, čekaj, gdje je ona oružje njima eksplodiralo? Tamo negdje gore. Možda nađem nešto... Da, tamo je. Možda otkrijem šta su koristili.
Weapon's still hot. I need to know how it worked. But I'll have to check on it once it's cooled off. Oseram with a focus. Looks like he was sending data on the weapons somewhere else. Looks like the rebels camped here for a while. Are they watching this area? All right. I think I have an idea what happened here. I better get back to Erend.
All right, she who sees the unseen. What did you find out?
This was a carefully planned attack. I found camping gear up there. The rebels must have been staking out this place for at least a few days. They were waiting for the Zeniths to show up. All so that they could test that weapon. The Zeniths have a personal shield that makes them invulnerable, but somehow the weapon got rid of it. The Oseram that was operating it was sending data on it somewhere else. It was probably just a prototype.
I've known tinkers that do that. I'd do a little trial run before breaking out the real thing. Well, I guess it's still a work in progress, if it blew up.
She was searching for something she lost. Her drone had instructions to recover something called the asset.
The asset? Is that the sub-function thing that you said could be here? Eleuthia?
Not sure. Come on, let's go talk to Varl.
Idemo u špilju. Moglo bi biti ovdje. Elutio. Mislim čak da je.
That's a long way down.
Something tunneled straight down into the mountain. Looks recent.
Whatever it was, it must have been powerful. That Zenith the rebels killed was looking for something called the asset. I don't know what it is, but my guess is it's somewhere down there.
All right, so we head down.
Erend, stay here and stand watch. That Zenith isn't the only one of its kind. I don't want to be caught by surprise if the others show up. Contact us by focus if you see anything.
Okay. Any trouble shows up, I'll call you.
Let's go. There's some kind of old-world ruin down here.
You said the Zeniths have their own backup of Gaia, right?
Yeah, from the Proving Lab.
So maybe they were after Eleuthia. Found its hiding spot, so it sent the distress signal.
Maybe. Looks like some kind of data center. I might be able to access the facility systems from that console. I've never seen a transmitter like this before. Looks like it's self-destructed. This was a Far Zenith research lab. Looks like a lot of data was beamcast from here recently. From that device nearby.
So Eleuthia's gone?
If it was ever here, then probably. But then why were the Zeniths still searching for the asset? Let's keep looking around.
Exploring another Far Zenith ruin.
At least this one doesn't seem to have giant killer machines.
Or anything you can blow up.
Pack's full. I can get it from my stash later.
All this stuff. Wonder what they were doing here.
Well, knowing Far Zenith, probably discovering amazing things. For their own benefit.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Je li ovo nešto? Nešto tu mora biti. S ova vrata. Gdje je fora? Čekaj, kojim putem sad došao?
Ectogenic chambers. Like the ones I saw inside his Zero Dawn cradle facility. This
What were
place
they
keeps
for?
on going. Remember when I told you I was made, not born? This is how.
A machine that makes a person. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Kroz ova vrata nećemo moći proći. Tamo je nešto.
This place is huge. Some kind of storage room, maybe.
Maybe the asset is in here.
If it is, somehow the Zenith couldn't find it. Let's look around. So, how is Erend taking all of this? Really?
Well, Gaia, the Zeniths, the Focus. It's a lot.
Previše dobijam lijekova, previše stvari dobijam. Tu će se neko veliko stranje desiti. Previše ovoga ima. Da, prođe dobro sve. Ovdje ćemo samo istraživati. Ovdje će se neko jako opasno pojaviti.
To access the storage units.
Can it tell us if the asset is in one of them?
Well, let's find out.
Kupi da prije. Koji je kod?
236 containers in storage. Please enter the container number you'd like to retrieve.
236? Wasn't there a number in the distress signal?
You're right. I should check the log.
Koji je log? Nećeš pojaviti, pokazati. Nije to. Gdje se to nalazi? Dijalog. SOS nešto bi trebalo biti. Ovo su side questovi. I ovo za main questove. Quests. Distress signal. Ja mislim da je to. Ovo će biti. 237. (237)
236 containers in storage. Please enter the container number you'd like to retrieve.
237, a govori da taj nema. Da ih ima 236 samo. To je možda neka skrivena. To je Aloy.
Aloy. It's you. Skin's like ice. Must have cut this from her head. But why?
Elizabeth. Apologies, I don't know what else to call you. My name is Bedo. I'm afraid I must be brief. I only have a few minutes before my keepers discover I'm missing, and I still need to remove this implant. I had hoped to find shelter with you, but if you're viewing this, I may be dead. Be careful when you take on Farsiness. They are ruthless, and they have Eleuthia, Artemis, and Apollo now. But at least I don't have the Gaia kernel to merge them with. You must succeed, or this was all for nothing. Good luck. And goodbye.
So she's...
She's still alive.
We need to get her back to...
Oh shit, they can fly? Aloy. Aloy, can you hear me through this thing?
What's going on, Erend?
Two of those spectral things just fell out of the sky. One of them is heading down towards you. The other one's waiting up here.
We're coming up. Stay in cover until I get there.
You got it.
Get her to cover in that room. Whatever happens, she stays with us.
Kako ću poraziti to čudo?
I'll protect her.
Te spektre. Šta da radim?
I should prepare before the Spectre gets here.
Kako?
I can't let it get through to Varl and the clone.
Ali ne mogu mu ništa. Mogu probati zamke staviti.
Here it comes! Ooh, ugly one, aren't you?
Wow! Ok, skenirao sam te. Htjeli sam znati čega si slab. Izgleda vatru bacaš, ne. To ja bacam. Pokušavam. Ok, skužio sam pre čega je Vik. Sada... Samo da uspori! Prebrzo je. Dobro je stvar što napokon radim neki damage. Super. Dok je tako. Plazma nema oružje. Morat ću se boriti protiv njega. Ne znam kako. Bježi! Wow. Dobro, nije mi trigovao zamku. On je meni zamku postavio. Ubila ga zamka. Yes. Nikako. Ne, nisam. Pomozi mi. Evo, ne smiješ te gluposti govori. Da si dobro, kad nisi dobro. Čekaj, moramo ovo... Tako. Oj, hvala batica. Ali ima još jedan. Ovaj je navodno rekao da su dva ta ovdje. Čekaj, imam ja hranu. Ručaj, evo. To će mi dati boost. Ne znam čemu me daje boost, ali šta god da je. Bolje nego ništa.
Gotta get back up top and deal with that other specter. I just hope Aaron stays in cover.
And the Spectre's dug its heels in. It's got me pinned down.
Hang tight. I'm almost there.
Just hurry.
Tu sad, tu.
That doesn't sound good. I gotta get to Aaron.
Šta se dešava tu?
Watch out. That thing's shooting down the center.
Shields down.
Stay put.
I'll see what I can do.
The second you need me, I'm there.
Sad ću ga s kopljima riješiti, gledaj evo.
Look at that man missing a weapon.
Wow!
Get out of there! You need some ammo?
Shit! Oh shit! Vratit ćemo se na ovo, imamo to, radi jako veliki damage. Ovo mu se ni malo ne sviđa, da je pravo malo critical. Kako je critical djelovalo njemu. Dobro da sam boostao critical na te aerove. Kako mu je napravilo critic damage? 500 je nešto.
Aloy, she's... Look, I swear I'm not drunk, but right now I'm seeing double.
Long story, but it'll have to wait.
She needs a healer, but we need to get her back to the base immediately.
Right. Yeah. Well, what are we waiting for then?
You two go on ahead. I need to take another look at that weapon.
I lootovat ovoga iza.
If I can figure out how that thing works.
Gdje si ga ubila?
Maybe the Zeniths won't be so invincible after all.
Ne, moj loot. Gdje je moj loot? To nije moj loot. Gdje je umro ovaj? Sam tu eliminio, pa to. Sigurno imamo materijale rijetke neke. Ne ovog bajta. Dobra su ova koplja batica, a? Ova ima eksploziju, ovo su obična, ali sam stavio taj item na njih da nokaju, da ga mogu srušiti na pod. Onda imam ovo koje radi veći damage na nokanima. A na ovo sam stavio critical. Pošto radi veliki damage, još sam dodao crit. onda je još veći damage. Još nešto je bilo ispalo. Sad ćemo da vidimo. To je neki supply. Talker, gun. A, oružje možda. Definitivno oružje njegovo. Mogu se iskoristiti protiv njega da sam vidio. Da vidim mi ovo.
No. Damn it. Well, it's better than nothing.
Sad ćemo se vjerojatno vratiti nazad u našu bazu. Možda se ova probudi. Druga je ili beta. Kako je zovu beta.
I need to get the weapon fragment to Gaia to analyze. If we can replicate it, maybe we'll have a way to defeat the Zeniths. I should check on the clone, too. Varl, where's our guest?
We're in the maintenance corridor below the control room.
Okay.
Aloy, glad you made it back okay.
Yeah.
She panicked after waking up and stumbled down here. I thought it best to wait for you.
I'll talk to her. Hello? It's Beta, right? My name's Aloy. What's wrong? Is it your injury?
Simulacrum withdrawal syndrome.
I don't understand.
Sudden removal of a neurologically integrated data device. The brain, especially the cerebellum, goes into a kind of sensory freefall. Everything real feels unreal. Distant.
Is there anything that can help?
Do you have a focus to spare? It's primitive, but I can make it work.
Yeah.
Booting up. So, Aloy, I suppose you want information.
About you and the Zeniths? Yeah. Why are they here? What do they want? How did they get you? But let's start at the beginning. I'm guessing they faked the destruction of their ship 1,000 years ago?
That seems consistent with their behavior. They wouldn't want to be followed.
So far, Zenith established a colony world after all.
Yes, for a few hundred years, but it didn't last. Some sort of natural disaster rendered it uninhabitable.
Okay, so the descendants of Far Zenith escaped a dying planet, and now they want to claim Earth for themselves?
Not their descendants.
What?
Not their descendants. It's them. The same ones who left Earth 1,000 years ago. You didn't know?
How can they still be alive? They don't even look... What did they do to themselves?
I believe it's a combination of pharmaceutical, cellular treatments, and technological implants.
And you? Does that mean that you were...
I'm not like them. I was made. On the way to Earth. On the ship. I spent years studying in my training interface, so that I could serve my function.
Access and control of the terraforming system. But why? What do the Zeniths want with it?
When I discovered the Zero Dawn system had disseminated into its subcomponents, I thought my purpose was to fix it. But I don't think the Zeniths want that at all.
I think they want to wipe Earth clean and start over. So the Zeniths want to exterminate life on Earth. That's what Gaia and I concluded too. But why? Why kill everyone just to take over? When they took me on missions with them, I saw how they butchered the tribal people we encountered. They didn't seem to care about a rejuvenated Earth, so I concluded that they must want a hard reboot of the system. Then they can redesign it to be exactly what they want. Mass extinction for their own comfort? Who thinks like that? Well, without their Gaia kernel, they'll have a hard time doing that. The Zeniths needed Elizabeth's gene print to access Zero Dawn facilities. So they made you. Trained you. And you went along with it? They told me I was born to interface with the Zero Dawn system. When we reached Earth, I pieced together what must have happened to Gaia and her subordinate functions. That's when I started to realize I wasn't meant to fix Gaia. That they must have made me so I could do what their remote extinction signal failed to do. Reboot Earth for their own benefit. So you know about the extinction signal? It was speculation, but the only logical conclusion why Gaia suddenly self-destructed after operating efficiently for centuries. Gaia would have only undertaken such a desperate course of action if it had detected a threat to life on Earth that was more dangerous than ceasing function altogether. I should have realized that she would also order the recreation of Elizabeth Sobek to rebuild her. Yeah, well, surprise. So we're dealing with the same Far Zenith people who once lived on Earth. What else do you know about them? They were some of the most affluent and powerful people on Earth. They controlled almost every major resource, every industry. Gerard commands them. He's the one who decided to set up a base. The others, Eric, Tilda, Verbena, they resent his authority over them, but in the end, they always do what he says. Eric, he's the one I fought back in the Hades Proving Lab. He enjoys hurting people. Yeah, I know. You mentioned the Zeniths set up a base here on Earth. Where is it? Off the coast, I think. Whenever I had to go on missions, I was transported inside of a Spectre drone. I couldn't see anything outside. But I did overhear the Zeniths talking about it once. They were discussing setting up a perimeter energy shield to repel the local fauna. I'm certain they have other security measures. Spectre patrols, machine lures. It must be impregnable. What's inside the base? Launch facilities, so they can shuttle back and forth to their ship in orbit. Plus infrastructure to gather materials and fabricate anything they need. Are there more Zeniths than the ones you met? I'm not sure. I suppose there must be more of them in the base or back on the ship. For all I know, there could be more of them out in space. Other survivors of the colony. You said the Zenith's colony in the Sirius system was destroyed. What happened? All I was ever told was that a natural disaster forced them to leave Sirius. I've speculated that it was an extrasolar object or a cataclysmic seismic event. Or maybe even an abnormally violent coronal mass ejection from Sirius A. The Zeniths never told you any details. They said the only thing that mattered was that they survived. First Earth, 1,000 years ago, and then Sirius. Guess they survived old age, too. How did you escape the Zeniths? Before the Hades Proving Lab, I never thought I'd get away from them. Even if I were to run. I'd never survive on my own in the wilds. But then I saw you. And I thought that maybe you could help me. So when the Zeniths pinpointed Eluthia's location in the biomedical research facility, I saw an opportunity. You said you saw an opportunity to escape when you went to capture Eluthia. What did you do, exactly? Whenever I was taken out on a mission to recover a subordinate function, only one of the Zeniths would go with me. The one the rebels killed, outside the facility. But Baina's dead? How did they bypass her shield? I'm looking into it. But you were talking about your escape? Well, when it was time to use the Zenith's transmitter to send Eleuthia back to base, I also sent the encrypted transmission. Then I distracted Verbena long enough to seal myself in the ectogenic chamber, altering the facility's log so it appeared that there were only 236 containers. And the Gaia root kernel? I told them I could capture Eleuthia faster if I had it with me, and they believed me. Well done. You said you were born on the way to Earth. In an artificial womb, I'm guessing? The Zeniths had an ectogenic chamber aboard the ship. An updated version of the one you found me in. They must have used a stored sample of Elizabeth's DNA. I doubt Elizabeth would have let them take her DNA. Do you know how they got it? That wasn't part of the archive I was allowed to access. You said you spent years studying in a training interface. Was this archive you mentioned part of that? But only the parts I was permitted to access. Aristotle and Aspasia, the avatars of the archive, would assign me learning modules and evaluate my progress. Wait, those names. They were designed to be the virtual guides for the Apollo database, before Ted Faro purged it. The Zeniths have a copy, so it still exists. And you got to learn from it. Only what was deemed pertinent to the mission. If I requested information outside of my parameters, my tutors would deny it. To have all that knowledge, just out of reach, must have been frustrating. All right, I think that's enough for now. Do you want to come upstairs, or... So how long? You know, your plan. How long before Gaius fabricated a machine army to defeat the Zeniths? How did you know? Optimal strategy, so? Well, I still have to get 2 more subordinate functions before Gaia's powerful enough to absorb Hephaestus. What? You don't have Hephaestus already? Gaia's still figuring out how to capture it. It's not confined to a single location, of course not! You didn't even know who the Zeniths really are. You were supposed to be further along by now. Coming here was a mistake. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find this place and take me back. This was all for nothing. They're not going to find us. Gaia's using Minerva to mask our location. What difference does it make? You're too far behind. We're never going to beat them. Everything, everyone, are gonna die. Hey, calm down. You're here now, right? So is there anything you can do to help? I have certain knowledge sets. And given your state of progress, expertise you probably lack. Geoengineering, of course. Computer science, physics, biology, chemistry. Okay. Well, see if you can do something with that. Talk to Gaia. I'll check on you later.
How'd it go?
Her injury's not that bad, but I think she regrets coming here. Feeling might be mutual.
I'll come back later and talk to her. See if I can learn anything.
I should get the weapon fragment to Gaia.
Ще ga otkri kako im razbi štit.
Welcome back. Aloy, I see we have a new guest. So now we know the origin of the transmission.
Yeah. I also recovered this. The weapon it was part of somehow stripped a Zenith of its shield, but it malfunctioned and blew up. If we can recreate the weapon and improve it, maybe we'll gain the upper hand on the Zeniths.
A moment, I will scan it. Complete. By combining the results with data from your focus, I can infer that the weapon was highly advanced. comparable to Zenith technology. But not how it worked.
Did the explosion corrupt the data?
It was only a catalyst. The moment the weapon malfunctioned, it appears a command executed to purge all data within its core. Ostensibly, this was to prevent the weapon's secrets from falling into enemy hands. Whoever designed this weapon knew how to cover their tracks.
Silence.
I mislio
Based
sam.
on your data on him, that is my conclusion as well.
I ja sam to mislio.
He's not gonna cooperate with us. Well, it was worth a shot. But that's not all. The Zeniths got Eleuthia, along with Artemis and Apollo.
That is unfortunate. However, our original plan remains unchanged. The two remaining subordinate functions should increase my heuristic processing density enough to absorb Hephaestus.
Right. One problem at a time. Well, I guess I better get back out there.
I wish you luck on your search.
Right. Thanks, Gaia. So I guess we won't be making use of Silent's weapon. And now there is another clone of Elizabeth here with us. But I can't let it distract me. I still have 2 more sub-functions to get.
Još puno toga zaraditi. Ne bi mogli sad odraditi i ovo side quest. Dobro. Koliko je sati? Ovako, završit ćemo ovdje live danas. Sutra, da vam kažem, vjerojatno neće biti live. Jednako stignem. Iz razloga zato što ću pokušati sutra srediti novi setup. Znači moram sve isključiti, tako da se moram micati, novo slagati, tako da maknut ćemo vjerojatno green screen, bit će sve drugačije. Moram rotirati sve, moram smisliti kako će uopće to izgledat. Tako da ćemo vidjeti da li ću stići sutra live, ako ne, preko sutra bi trebalo već to bi gotovo, pa ćemo nastaviti. Eto, toliko o tome. Bilo je vrlo zanimljivo danas, puno toga smo saznali, puno je bilo priče, vrlo zanimljive, tako da ja čekam da vidim što će biti dalje. Napokon smo našli neki način da ubijemo spektove one i način uskoro da razbijamo shieldove ovima, pa ćemo ih moći poraziti. Odmah sam rekao da će biti, šta to batice, na šta misliš? Vidiš, to ima neki side quest. Gdje ja mogu da sejvam ovdje? Aha, da će biti akcija. Da, bilo je zanimljivo, bilo je jako zanimljivo. I jedva čekam sutra ponovo, stvarno se nadam da ću stići sutra. Eto, ja sam mislio da će mi to biti save. Gdje mi je save? Jedan tamo dole, jedan. Ili sa druge strane. Na Kirio vrata sam otišao. Dobro, nema veze, batice sutra ili preko sutra, vidimo se. Srati opet, hvala svima koji su bili danas. Vidim čak 2 lajka, znači još neko bio. I vidimo se, pozdrav, laku noć.